Hey friends, Ari Koinuma here. Thanks for checking in. So this video is for my musician friends. If you saw the title of this video, I am sure that you came because you're interested in creating music that is meaningful to your audience. I think it's kind of the highest compliment that we can receive when the music we release, people listen to and go, wow, that meant a lot to me, or that helped me get through this time, or I listened to it when I was going through this, that sort of thing. And I have many such songs, in my life that I really appreciate, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to become a musician, is because I was so awestruck by the power of music to help me feel things and to help me out in my life, that I really wanted to be able to create and offer the same kind of thing to other people. To that end, I developed my own school of thought called impactful songwriting or impactful music making, because of course the goal of that kind of music is to be impactful. And there are certainly some sort of different things to keep in mind, different angles to think about when you're talking about making music with impact in mind. So let me share with you what I'm working on right now for myself, and hopefully that will be something that you can think about for your own music making and songwriting as well. So the first thing, actually, it doesn't have anything to do with the songwriting, it's more on the performance side, right? We practice our instrument or our singing because we want to get comfortable with it, we want to get good at it, we want to get familiar with expressing ourselves that way. And the goal that we want to keep in mind when we're practicing is to be so comfortable and familiar and second nature with it that when you feel something inside, you can let it come through. So let's just take that apart. There are two important points. One is that you have to feel something inside first. And I'm a highly sensitive person, so I feel tons of different emotions very strongly. We are very emotional people, these sensitive kinds. So I have plenty of emotions to go around. But even if you're not sensitive, if you want to make an impactful sort of a performance of a music, you need to put in your own feelings, and that means that you have to have those feelings to begin with. And this might be tougher for some people than others, but like, let's say that you are watching a emotional scene in a movie and you might feel rightfully emotional, right? How comfortable are you with that feeling? How comfortable are you in letting that feelings be shown? How comfortable are you if somebody was to see you be emotional, right? This is like a sort of a emotional intelligence or maturity sort of outside or before you even get to the music, is if you want to be able to deliver something that really moves people, then you need to be comfortable with your feelings. You need to know that you have them. You need to be comfortable expressing them. You need to be comfortable being seen. And I tell you, I, like a lot of other people, find it very vulnerable and hard to do that. And if you follow me on my social media, you've seen me practice some like improvisation on guitar recently, and that is me sort of practicing, going, okay, I'm on camera now and I'm gonna post this. Can I make myself be emotional while I'm performing? And I'm having varying degrees of success with that. But I'm just convinced that feeling our own feelings and being comfortable with it is like the bottom line, like the baseline of what makes a good musicianship. And then, of course, on top of that, the musicianship, the technical ability to be able to convey that is the second part of that. And that is just as important. Obviously, even if you feel the deepest and strongest emotions, if you're stumbling through your instrument, or if you or your singing doesn't have that proper sort of a technical foundation to really deliver that, it's not gonna come through. And I've had my past recordings where I'm singing my heart out and I think I'm emoting, but then I listen to my takes and go, I don't feel anything. Right? And that's the frustrating part, in that even if you understand it, just developing your craft as a, your musicianship, it just takes time. And you just have to sit and do it and repeat it, and there's no shortcut. I mean, some can do it sort of quicker than others, or some learn how to do it quicker than others, but there's just no way to get around that. You just need to spend time getting comfortable with developing your craft so that what you have inside comes through. So your own emotions or emotional intelligence or maturity or comfort level and the musicianship to deliver it, I mean, that is like outside of like songwriting and composition and like what kind of music you're delivering, I mean, right? In the other words, if you had those two in spades, I mean, you could be reciting a phone book and maybe able to make somebody cry. And I'm sure that you've seen some singers who are so expressive that you've said to them, you could be reading a phone book and I think I'll still cry. So that's the power of the performance. Now, that being said, that being the first most fundamental part, then let's look at the songwriting composition part, right? If you're working with music that has lyrics, obviously you want to put in something that is meaningful to you, so that people who listen to it will feel that they're meaningful to them as well. And that takes some courage. That takes vulnerability. You need to sort of simmer with your words to make sure that it represents, it conveys, it really means something to you. And in my experience, I mean, I have my way with words and people tell me that, but that still is a hard part in my songwriting. Like the music part, I can totally whip it out in like 10 minutes sometimes. It just comes out really fast. The words, it's hard. You revising and edit it and revising and edit it and just kind of, and then come back to it another day and you look at it and go, that doesn't sound right. Or when I speak the words or when I say the words, it doesn't roll off my tongue just right. There are all kinds of different shades that you play with the words, but you need to sort of keep working on it until your words kind of say, wow, this really is meaningful to me. And once you have the words, this is one of the major pitfalls. So, like, to me, it's like number one missed opportunity in music making, is that you want to make sure that the music, like from the songwriting part to composition to arrangement to production, instrumentation, all those things, mix, mastering, everything is cohesive with the words as well. And cohesive doesn't necessarily mean that they're the same thing, but think about it this way. If you read the lyrics by itself, right, and you might get certain feelings and impressions and understanding out of that, and you listen to the music without the words, maybe with the melody, but not without the words, and do you get a compatible feelings? If the two really come across like they don't have anything to do with each other, you are sort of killing the emotional punch, or you're sabotaging the potential for impact. And if you think about it with this way of aligning sort of different elements to sort of deliver the same focused sort of emotional punch, you start making creative decisions along the way differently than perhaps if you were not aware of this idea of impactfulness. certain chords, you've seen my songwriting analysis, right? The chords have certain sort of emotional quality to it, certain rhythm have emotional quality with it, and then you sort of compare that with the words that they're matched with, and you kind of go, yeah, they work together, or they don't. They don't have to like totally deliver the same feelings, but they just kind of have to work together. And this is an area of music making that I always look at people's songs or recordings and go, yeah, there's just a lot of missed opportunity there. If I was producing it, if I was writing these songs or coaching this songwriting process, yeah, I can totally, I feel like I can sort of guide this process in a different way to really bring out the maximum potential and impact. At the end of the day, your music being meaningful to other people, it's kind of a you can set that as a goal, but it's something that is an outcome that sort of comes out of your quest to create something that is meaningful to you, right? That needs to be the first and foremost goal, and if you can do that, then other people will find it meaningful and impactful as well. But if you're going out there going, let's make a song that make other people cry, there is certainly something fundamentally manipulative about that, and you run the risk of being disingenuous and pretentious and corny or heavy-handed, right? You need to be totally genuine and honest and authentic with yourself and make your music to the point where you look at your own creation and go, and I know it's hard because we are our own critic as well, but still you need to be able to look at your music and go, yeah, I feel the feelings that I put in, I have the words that I put in that mean so much to me, and then everything lines up in terms of the cohesion of different elements to give me the sort of the experience that I was looking for. And then only then you can turn around and say, hey, you might find this meaningful too. Alright, so we talked about a few things here. We talked about how, you have to have the emotions to begin with, and then you have to have the chops to deliver that through your performance. And then you need to put in what's meaningful to you into the music, and particularly into the lyrics, and then to have the cohesion between different elements to make sure that they all kind of deliver cohesive feelings and experience. And these are not easy things at all, and that's probably why, impactful songs you don't encounter on a daily basis, right? There's just a lot in there. But knowing these sort of ideas, I think, will help you in sort of making creative decisions and navigating in terms of developing your own artistry or language or your practice strategy or whatever it is that is involved in your music. So I'm hoping that this video will give you some food for thought and sort of makes you think about some things. Alright? Okay, thanks again for watching. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. If you find this useful, please share. And otherwise, I'll see you next time. Thank you.